Today's inflation report confirmed what Americans already know. Putin's price hike is hitting America hard. Gas prices at the pump, energy and food prices account for half of the monthly price increases since May. Inflation outside of energy and food, what the economists call core inflation, moderated the last 2 months. Not enough, but it moderated. It's come down. And we need it to come down much more quickly.
In this video, President Biden addresses the increase of inflation 2 years following the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. While inflation is a normal part of economy, the government and the Federal Reserve want to maintain it below 2% to help businesses and families. Prices went up significantly during the pandemic, causing inflation of 4.7% in 2021, 8% in 2022, and 4.1% in 2023. The average rate of inflation for 2024 has come down to 2.7%, but is still higher than desired. Prices were never adjusted to pre-pandemic times and have kept increasing, thus causing strain on the American people's budgets. Let's hear from the owner of Heroes Realm Comics in Lexington, Kentucky. Do you remember when you started to feel the impact of inflation on it?
The first year. Yeah, DC Comics used to have most of their books would come out at $3.99, and then they said a big promotion came out that said we're going to do our books at $2.99, $2.99, and there was a huge promotion for that, and it lasted about 6 months, and then they were just like, nah, we're doing $3.99. Like they couldn't themselves keep the prices down, so that was the first time I'm like, oh, prices are going up on books. Now an average book is between $5 and $6, so and a lot of companies are still trying to keep the prices down, but on average book it's about $5. So prices continue to keep going up. Yeah.
How will my generation handle high food and living costs in 10 years if inflation keeps increasing at the rate it is now? Inflation is a problem involving rising prices due to heightened production costs. The demand for a problem stays the same, while the supply declines due to a higher cost of production. Another way inflation is caused is when the demand for a product increases, so a company is forced to heighten prices so the demand lowers and they can keep a steady supply.
Can you talk about what you've seen in your work with the rising cost of food and how that is directly affecting food insecurity in the United States?
Absolutely. The reality, as you've described in this data, is that people are struggling. I mean, inflation has increased about 19% since 2020, so over the last 4 years. But what we know is that food prices have risen about 25%.
As mentioned in this video, increased food prices cause stress and financial strain on the American people. The 22% surge in grocery costs seen since the pandemic has not been corrected, and most Americans' salaries have not been adjusted accordingly. The Walmart CEO predicts that food inflation will continue to rise by at least 1% in 2025. Walmart also notices that the shopper's demographic has changed since 2020, and higher salary individuals and families choose Walmart due to higher prices at their preferred grocery store. Let's hear from Alexis Gross, a homeowner and a mom of two. Can you estimate how much more money you are spending a week on groceries since the pandemic?
I feel like it's like almost $100 probably. I'm just gonna estimate.
The average cost for a U.S. house is at an all-time high at $417,927, compared to 14 years ago in 2011, where the average was $169,350. We can see that the average cost has doubled. This tendency is concerning for first-time homebuyers and young workers that do not have access to property.
I think housing has increased. I know a lot of people are having trouble paying rent. So if there somehow could be help with the cost of housing, it would be helped by changing interest rates. And then if people had tax breaks, then that would give them more money.
Small businesses have to face increased costs for supplies, services, and utilities, which can strain their budgets and reduce funds for expansion or improvement of the company. At an attempt to counteract the rising costs, many business owners increase their prices. This may seem like a good idea, but it can be risky as it may lead to a loss of customers who won't be willing to pay these higher prices. It can also cause supply chain issues, which leads to delays and higher costs for products. Inflation can also cause labor force issues, as there may be the need for layoffs, which can alter the quality of the service or goods. Can you give me an example of how inflation affects your production costs?
It goes up a little bit every year, and every time books go up, it affects our customers. We've had customers that want to buy more books, but those books are like, well, I have to pick and choose because the more the books go up, if you have like a $25 a week allowance, you can get 5 books versus 6 or 7 books. So it affects how many books or how many products we can sell to each individual customer. The more the prices go up, people aren't making any more money. So price goes up, they have less to spend basically on. So
The government should play a key role in tackling inflation as it directly affects the cost of living for citizens on a daily basis. When the prices rise too quickly, it is difficult for families to afford basic necessities such as food, housing, and healthcare. By using monetary policies, offering tax credits to middle and low income households, and giving tax breaks to small businesses, federal and state would secure comfort to the people and protect the economy. This support would ensure that people would not be negatively affected by rising costs and that they would be able to maintain a decent way of living.